Before I begin, now the poetry that's called The Walrus and the Carpenter appeared in the book Through the Looking Glass, and it was narrated to Alice and Wonderland fame. And at this time, Alice is 7 years old. This is going to be a hint. Okay. Thank you. Now, Alice is 7 years old in this event. If you have been hearing about all the races and about broken teeth, now is the time to go back to that 7-year-old stage when you had no inhibitions. The poetry in itself is wacky. And since Alice, as a 7-year-old, understood it, we are going to find and travel the same journey along with Alice. And this is how we begin. The Walrus and the Carpenter by Lewis Carroll. The sun was shining on the sea, shining with all his might. He did his very best to make the billows smooth and bright. And this was odd, because it was the middle of the night. The moon was shining sulkily, because she thought the sun had got no business to be there after the day was done. It's very rude of him, she said, to come and spoil the fun. The sea was wet as wet it could be. The sands were dry as dry. You could not see a cloud because no cloud was in the sky. No birds were flying overhead. There were no birds to fly. The Walrus and the Carpenter were walking close at hand. They wept like anything to see such quantities of sand. If this were only cleared away, they said, it would be grand. If 7 maids with 7 mops were swept in for half a year, do you suppose, the Walrus said, that they could get it clear? I doubt it, said the Carpenter, and shed a bitter tear. Oh, oysters, come and walk with us, the Walrus did beseech. A pleasant walk, a pleasant talk along this briny beach. We cannot do with more than 4 to give a hand to each. The eldest oyster looked at him, but never a word he said. The eldest oyster winked his eye and shook his heavy head, meaning to say that he did not choose to leave the oyster bed. But 4 young oysters hurried up, on eager for the treat. Their coats were brushed, their faces washed, their shoes were clean and neat. But this was odd, because they hadn't any feet. And 4 other oysters followed them, and yet another 4. And thick and fast they came at last, and more and more and more. All hopping through the frothy waves and scrambling to the shore. The Walrus and the Carpenter walked on a mile or so, and then they rested on a rock conveniently low. And all the little oysters stood and waited in a row. The time has come, the Walrus said, to talk of many things. Of shoes, of ships, and sealing wax, of cabbages and kings, and while the sea is boiling hot, and whether pigs have wings. But wait a bit, the oysters cried. Before we begin our chat, for some of us are out of breath, and all of us are fat. No hurry, said the carpenter, and then thanked him much for that. A loaf of bread, the walrus said, is chiefly what we need. Pepper and vinegar besides are very good indeed. And if you're ready now, oysters dear, can we begin to feed? But not on us, the oysters cried, turning a little blue. After such kindness, it was a dismal thing to do. The night is fine. Do you admire the view? It was so kind of you to come. You are very nice. But the carpenter said nothing. Cut us another slice. I wish you weren't quite so deaf. I've already asked you twice. It seems such a shame, said the walrus, to play them such a trick. After we have got them out so far and made them trot so quick. But the carpenter said nothing but, I think the butter's too thick. I weep for you, the walrus said. I deeply sympathize. With sobs and tears he sorted out those of the largest size and took them one by one, prepared before his throbbing thighs. Oysters! You had a pleasant run. Shall we be trotting home again? But answer there was none. And this was scarcely odd because they had eaten every one. Madam Toastmaster,